Welcome to TLC for the Soul podcast, where soul meets spirit. You have entered into sacred space. I'm your host, Tammy Lynn Chambers, and I'm here to help you shine. Now let's get going on this podcast journey. Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome to yet another episode. Podcast. This is our Divine Masculine SOS, delivering a treasure map to the masculine today. So this is going to come to you via some light language downloads and just some activations that are going to happen as part of this episode. If you're a Divine Masculine listening, get settled in. Get settled in, honey, because you're here for a reason. This is for you. If you're a Divine Feminine, kind of cross-listening, then welcome here. You're here to, maybe here to kind of check up on what's happening with the Divine Masculine, like what's happening, what are they working on? But my thought is that many of you are here, myself included, to hold space for the masculine and all of the work that they are doing on their soul and their soul growth. Because many of you, since I'm talking about you like you're not even here, many of you Divine Masculine are a little bit behind your soul growth journey, kind of like the Divine Feminine seemed to have been activated first, and then you got activated kind of secondarily. I'm not saying that's true for every single one, but it seems to be what's happening. So you choose, here we go again. You choose how you roll here on the podcast, how you want to listen. If you're new, you may just want to settle back, settle in, see what we're all about, and hopefully you'll decide to join us moving forward. There's a lot of rich content in previous episodes. A lot of it is timeless. Much of it is timeless. Got 3 years now of podcast episodes. If you're a returning listener, welcome back to the podcast family. You can choose to join me around the sacred shamanic fire circle. I'm feeling very shamanic today. Sacred shamanic fire circle. As I wrap us all in love light and light love. Inviting in the spirit guides, totems, wisdom keepers, elders, Anamkar, angels, whatever guides you want to work with. I'm inviting in my guides into this sacred fire circle. You can choose to take your listening experience an octave higher and invite in your own guides, power animals, totems, deities. These would be guides who would be at the highest vibrational alignment to your now journey, who could help give you messages, insights, information, visions, downloads, whatever you might need to support you as you move forward, as you receive the insights and information from what's about to be shared today. So I don't have a whole lot. I'm asking the guides here, and I want to see who's here to walk me through what they want me to do to deliver this information to you today. So if there's anything that comes up as part of this episode, no lawn care people today, but if anything shows up outside the window, or I have to be inside today because it's just way too hot, but if anything shows up or they guide me to use any tools or if anything's in the background, that will be part of our episode. Shamanic stuff, I said, was coming up very strongly. I have a feeling that the throat chakra is going to be very heavily involved in this download and in this. There's a throat chakra upgrade going on. So right now, masculine, divine masculines, if you were here as part of a twin flame journey. Some of you aren't, that's fine. You don't have to be. Divine Feminines, if you are here as part of a twin flame journey, again, you don't have to be, but many of you are. Some of you may be and don't realize it yet, so you're getting the information that you need and the codex to open you up potentially to being on the twin flame path. I am a twin flame, I'm on the twin flame journey, all that good stuff. I'm not going to go too much into that right now, but believe me, it can happen the way it happened for me, like from 1 minute to the next, you're on it. So, all right, so what guides are here? Because I'd like you to help me stay focused on what needs to be delivered today and not, we are in my Gemini season and I can get very chatty and our intros get, you know, our intros are part of the teachings, but I can tend to talk a lot, which is why I don't do well on places like Twitter and necessarily TikTok, because I can't limit my stuff to 60 seconds or whatever that silliness is. All right, let me see. Who's here today? White Eagle. So we have some native, like some shamanic native elders coming in. The Navajo Windtalkers are the native etheric, like medicine folk who work with me through light language. They mainly work with the heart space, but right now I feel like a lot of you listening are connecting, not the lower heart chakra, I don't want to call it the lower heart chakra, the higher heart chakra, like the sacred heart that's between the heart and the throat. That's getting connected to the throat. And I can feel that like in my own body, that part of me, like the thymus and the higher heart feels very weird to me right now. Like if I touch that space, it just feels funky. I don't know, I can't explain it. So physical bodies are going through a lot of ascension upgrades right now. And just from 1 minute to the next, you may be feeling a whole host and array of stuff. If you are a twin flame, you may be feeling your masculine, you may be feeling your feminine stuff, and feminine, you may be feeling your masculine stuff, and it may be kind of hard. The lines may be a little bit blurred as to whose stuff is whose. So that would be something you'd want to call in your guides and have you help, like, you can somewhat shield yourself from that a little bit, but you can't completely shield yourself from your counterpart, only because there's some energetic connections there that have been made by source to bind you together per se. It's not like some weird black magic binding. It comes from source and it's there to kind of hold you two together. And so you're always kind of connected via those energetic bindings. They're different for each twin flame couple. And so what may be, you know, for mine, we are bound together at the navel chakra, but you could be bound together in a different way. All right, what do you want me to talk about? Yeah, white buffalo cap, all these like native things are coming in. Native stuff, like the peace pipe. I'm seeing a peace pipe. I'm hearing like white buffalo calf woman. And it's probably because I just started a shamanic boot camp too with my beautiful teacher, Pixie Lighthorse. This is old stuff she did a long time ago. But I'm working with Raven, a boot camp she's doing with Raven, or she did with Raven, having to do, I didn't know it had to do with healing the throat chakra, but I kept seeing Raven everywhere, and Spirit kept showing me Raven, and then when I went to her courses, and I picked the Raven course that she had, it has all to do with working with throat chakra. So if I say anything weird, it could just be that once you've entered a sacred container, everything that happens, you know, kind of supports that work that you're doing. All right, you guys, where do you want me to focus? They want me to explain what the treasure map is for, because everyone's wondering what the treasure map is for. So divine feminine, and if you guys have not heard this episode, you don't have to run back right now. You can, if you want, like pause this and go listen to that first, but you don't have to. But in Sisters for the Sword, the other day, was it end of last week, we started a scavenger hunt for the divine feminine. And if you if you've partaken in that, if you did that, then over the course of 3 days, you were supposed to find 3 sacred objects that were going to be very evident to you that they were part of your journey. And they could be, you know, anything, but somehow they were going to stand out to you as being relevant. And I said, you know, hold on to those, put them on your altar space. You may not completely understand what they're for yet. And then at the solstice, we were going to charge them up and activate them and all of that. So I found my 3 things the other day, over the past 3 days. I'll share them with you. I didn't take a picture of them yet, but on my birthday, which was on the 3rd, my son and I went to the store to just get like, you know, we didn't do any like major celebration. We just got like, you know, some candy and some, we got like kids stuff. And one of our things is we have like tons of Legos. And we like to get the little Lego blind bags, and so he got one for me, and he got one for himself, and I ended up picking the figure I ended up getting was a beekeeper, and it's so cute. I love it so much, but I have no idea. I'm like, where does this beekeeper fit in? I don't know. Then the next day I was walking, and Aloha, Pink Bella, Aloha Therapy, whatever, was talking about the Pleiadians. And the blue Pleiadians coming in on the blue ray with the blue dragons. And as she was saying that, I looked down at where I was walking, and there was a little blue foam ball. And I was like, that's for me. So the Pleiadians and the blue ray, working with the Pleiadians, has something to do with my journey moving forward. And then on day 3, I was like, well, I still haven't found my 3rd little trinket yet. And as soon as I said that, I walked outside, and right where I was standing, there was this weird like connection thing. It looks like something that would connect. I can't even explain it. It's like a wire, and there's like almost like a horseshoe connector on one end and a horseshoe connector on the other end. And in the middle, it's got like all these different colors, like rainbow colors. And I was like, that's meant for me. That has something to do with my twin flame journey, about the rainbow bridge connection between myself and my twin. And even though it may seem insignificant to somebody else, as soon as I saw it, I was like, well, that's my 3rd thing. So somehow, in some way, those 3 things relate to the treasure map that the divine masculine is going to get. Now, again, I said, don't worry if you are, if you're not in some sort of twin flame soulmate connection, if you don't have a divine feminine who found, 3 things, or vice versa, if you don't have a divine masculine who's going to get treasure map, it doesn't matter. It's all going to work out in the end, okay? Just trust me. No, you don't have to just trust me. Don't just trust me. If it feels right to you, then roll with it. If it feels like, lady, I don't know what you're talking about, then just probably get off this podcast and go find something else to do, because it's probably not meant for you. But let's just do it like that. You should never just blindly trust anyone just because they said so. You should vent everything with your own intuition and with your guides and your own higher self. But I would say if you're here and this vibes with you, then it relates to you, and just then trust your intuition to guide you to the fact that if you found 3 objects, or if you didn't, or if you are getting the treasure map and all that, that it's all going to work out. It's all going to come full circle at the solstice, they're saying. Okay, whew. I would love to hear if you did find 3 objects and what they were. And I do have to say, as a little bit of a side note, that for those of you on YouTube that follow me on YouTube, for my little family members on YouTube, I'm noticing something weird on YouTube. I just have to say it because it's the only place where people can really comment. Is everyone's comments are not showing up, okay? So I just want to put that out there, because I see what's happening is some of you are commenting, and I see it as a notification on my phone, and I can see the notification, I can see your comment, But when I go into like your comment or comment on your comment or see your comment, it's gone. It's not happening for everybody. It's like weirdly only happening for some of you. So if you go to YouTube and you're kind enough to make a comment and then you don't hear from me, not that you're going to be checking back up on your comments or anything like that, but no, they do see them. But for some of you, they're disappearing. And I have consulted with someone who is very familiar with how the comments work. And he was like, you're not going to figure it out. Actually, it was my son. He's like very familiar with how the comments work. He used to be like I won't say professional commenter, but he used to, I don't know, there's someone like spend their time commenting on videos and stuff. But he has like 10 YouTube channels. He's very familiar with how the commenting works. He's like, you're not going to figure it out. It's something that YouTube is doing. And I'm like, should I submit a support ticket? He's like, they're not going to get back to you on that. So just know that something weird is happening with YouTube. Just know that. And if you do submit a comment and you don't hear back from me, chances are I've seen it. It has come across as a notification, but for whatever reason, it's not there anymore. So I guess this is coming up just to let folks know that YouTube commenting is not the best place to get in touch with me. If you want to get in touch with me, then you have the, in the show notes, you have my email, my show email. There's a way to reach me there, or you can direct message me through Instagram. Those are the best places to reach me, not in the comments of any of these sites, specifically YouTube at the moment. All right, treasure maps. So they want me to talk about intentions. So Divine Masculine, we have been working with you in the past couple of episodes on kind of getting yourself up to speed with how to work with your own energy. And I think what it did for a lot of you is caused an activation. So we did a few episodes where we were like, here's how you work with your energy, here's how you clear your energy, here's how you do some, work on your own self so that you're kind of in tip-top energetic shape. And also so that you're standing in your own power and you're able to do this work on your own, and that you're not feeling reliant on somebody else, specifically maybe your divine feminine or anyone else, to do that work for you, that you're able to do it on your own. Because what we found in past episodes is the divine masculine kind of felt intimidated by the divine feminine's power. And that was part of the reason, they kind of would step back a little bit from working with the divine feminine energy, specifically anyone they found that they kind of felt like they felt drawn to, but then the feminine felt too powerful for them, and so they would step back. And it's like, okay, well, the answer to that is you step into your own power. And so the past couple of episodes, we were working with the masculine to help you guys do that. And if you haven't heard those episodes, they are back in the podcast. They are playlists in Spotify. They are playlists in YouTube. So you can go back and listen to those. But we taught you how to get a pendulum and work and clear with your own energy field and all of that. And what Spirit's saying, what that did is it caused an activation, and it caused a lot of you to go and seek more knowledge about spirituality and how to work with your psychic gifts and your own power, because you're just as powerful, if not some of you, maybe more so, than the feminine. Or if it's not, I'm getting so many chills, if it's not more so, because some of you have past lives as like wizards and warlocks and stuff I haven't even begun to dive into. And I know Spirit had shared with me that my own divine masculine was learning, brand new things for himself, and that his intention, back to intentions, was to be as powerful or more powerful than the feminine. Gaining new knowledge, learning new things, and putting himself in a position where he felt like he had something to, oh my God, I'm getting emotional, that he had something to share and I don't know why I'm getting emotional. Anyway, just roll with that. They had something to share that was different and new to the feminine, that he had something to bring to the table to where, they're saying like upper hand, where he could feel like he had the upper hand with the feminine, to where you could feel like you were on level playing ground. And so it put you back in your power, to where in the past couple of months when doing this work, the masculine kind of felt a little bit out of power. Like, I don't know as much as my feminine. My divine feminine is very powerful. She's psychic. She's aware. She's intuitive. She's all these things that I haven't explored yet. And when we created those activations, we didn't create them, but when we brought those activations in from source in the past few episodes, it allowed you to open up and start exploring things for yourself. And I don't know where I said it, in some episode somewhere, I was like, I feel like a lot of divine masculines had sought out spiritual teachers, shamanic teachers. I think that's why the shamanic vibe is coming up again today, is I feel like a lot of you went the shamanic route. You sought out shamanic healers, possibly native teachers, because many of you have Native American past lives. We talked about your past lives as wizards, warlocks, and all these things, but you had to open up to that. And some of you have sought out healers to help you with, I'm so many chills, to help you with past life regression, to go into those lives and bring back those gifts, open up your Akashic records. You've been to maybe Akashic records, healers or readers that have helped you get in touch with all of that. So before, like I said a few months back, where you felt like you were out of power, like you somehow didn't match the feminine because you didn't have some of these awakened gifts. They hadn't awakened yet. And when we did those activations and when you set the intentions to find out more, you awakened all this stuff within you. And now, in a very short period of time, again, in some episodes somewhere I said the masculine is just like lightning fast, catching up to the feminine. And ladies listening, or not even ladies, the divine feminine listening, whoever you are, what seems to have taken us like years to open up to, the divine masculine is going like, oh my God, my body, so many chills. The divine masculine is ramping up and moving so fast to catch up with us. So commendations to the divine masculine for sticking it out. Let's take a deep breath together. Whew. For sticking it out and doing the work, setting the intentions and going for it. And knowing that you did have divine intervention on your side. You had angelic support to get you to the space where you are now. But again, none of that would have mattered if you had just sat on your laurels and done nothing about it. So you are to be commended for your follow through, your strength, and all you've done to get you to where you are now. And so when I feel into the divine masculine energy now, it feels much stronger. It feels much more in its power, in your power. And you feel, I keep hearing level playing field. You feel like, at least your energy does. I know that you may have some things you still have to clear to where outwardly you start to feel that, but that's part of this treasure map we're going to be delivering here. So we're getting all that. This is all of this is the good stuff, not just the activation. To where you feel outwardly like you can do that. But when I feel into your energy, and I've been getting a lot of confirmations that we're mirroring each other, the masculine and the feminine feels much more balanced. When I check in on the divine masculine and how you guys are doing with your own energy clearing, at least for my divine masculine, there's a lot less energetic work I have to help out with there now. When I go in and check, it's like, oh, I can tell because I don't see hardly any cords. The physical body's very clear. There's usually like emergent stuff that always comes up in the mental and the emotional body that's cleared out, but it's very little, and I'm called to do that work much less often than I used to be. So I have to say, divine masculine that are following through with your energy clearing and healing and all that on your behalf, or whether you've got some healer helping you out, or I think you're doing it on your own. and you're getting like tune-ups at some sort of energetic healer, then that's definitely working. And I encourage you to continue to do that. Divine Feminine, you need to keep up on your energy clearing, your shielding, and your healing, because we said the masculine and the feminine are balancing out, and they're mirroring each other. And if one of you kind of, for lack of a better word, goes down in vibration, then it affects your counterpart, okay? And if there's no counterpart involved, then it just affects you. When you're down in vibration, regardless, it's going to affect you in some way. Got to keep up with that. And strong boundaries seems to be very important right now. And that could be anything. That could be strong boundaries from family members. I talked to you in past episodes about my strong boundaries around my neighbors, and just sometimes anybody I see that it's very easy for me to just, get pulled into their energy field, and I'm not trying to do that. Okay, so keep yourself clear and shielded and balanced at least once a day, if not in the morning when you wake up and before you go to bed at night. Dream Lab is coming up again. Yeah, I have not come back to Dream Lab yet, and I want to. I just am still not sure how I want to work with these dreams. The masculine is showing up more in dreams. I have to say there's been more interaction between the divine feminine, divine masculine, and the dream state, and the astral realms. Astral travel is coming up a lot. Astral projection is coming up a lot. So I feel like counterparts, if that's why you're here. Typically whenever I feel heat, not every single time, but whenever I feel a lot of heat, then my divine masculine is around in some way, shape, or form. Okay, what else do we want to talk about? So what we're doing here today is going to start bringing you more clarity. So just you listening to what I'm saying is in and of itself an activation. So I use my voice, the inflection, the words, the tone of my voice are light codes in and among themselves, regardless of whether you hear light language coming out, regardless of whether you hear the Pleiadians coming out or somebody else coming out through light language. Just my own voice is an activation. It will start bringing you clarity. And it doesn't vibe with everybody, right? Or you wouldn't be here. So I just have to tell a funny story, because a lot of people listen, right, to the podcast. Some people just are drawn to the sound of my voice and what it emotes or brings out. And other people have told me that are very tuned in, like, you were just talking to me about nothing, about how the day went. And I could feel a download coming through, and I'm like, yeah, I know, that's just how it works. But it doesn't vibe with everybody. Sometimes it's meant to trigger people. And so, and especially if I'm tired or whatever, like my voice, I've noticed it takes on a whole different tone and inflection. And sometimes my son is like, and he's my divine masculine right now. My son is the divine masculine in my physical reality right now. And sometimes he's like, Mom, your voice is so annoying right now. I can't even stand to listen to it. And I was like, I don't know what's happening there. But I have noticed that it starts to change. And even right now, as I'm saying this, I can feel it changing a little bit and like starting to sound a little bit different. So big throat chakra upgrades going on with this Mercury retrograde. Now I'm in this boot camp to bring all that out, and Gemini season happening. Okay, so is there anything else? I haven't even checked how long I've been going on and on here. Let's see. 28 minutes. All right. I told you time can just go by. That can just be going on. All right. So let me just check in with you here and see if there's anything else that you want me to do. Okay. Why are we talking about mandrake roots again? Mandrake roots as a totem for this work. Okay. To me, when let me just tap into that for a minute and see what's going on there. Because mandrake roots have been kind of following me around lately. And whenever I look at them, a lot of them are very masculine. I see they're kind of like the divine masculine, the divine feminine, but they're telling me mandrake roots as a totem. So what I would say there is, if that interests you at all, and you want to work with mandrake root as a totem for your own divine masculine spiritual growth, what are we talking about, like all the time? As a power talisman, they're saying. So if you want to work with a power talisman for the divine masculine, then what's being suggested is to take a look at mandrake roots. Now, I know that especially my divine masculine likes to work with a lot of different spirit plant essences. We don't always bring them into the physical realm or whatever, but you can work with a picture of one. You can just tap into the energy of it. You don't have to physically have it in your possession. You don't have to run out and go buy it or anything like that. Although the mugwort seeds are coming. I have to go check and see if they've actually here. The mugwort seeds are coming, and we are going to grow mugwort. But tapping into mandrake root is being suggested right now. So, all right, so they're done with those messages. They wanted me to deliver that about mandrake root being some sort of little power talisman. You could, I think if you want to order some too, they are showing me the Mandragorium, which she is on Instagram. I believe there's a website. She does ship all over the world. She ships live plants to the US, and I have not ordered from her. I've just been watching her site. But her love for the plant itself and the way she works with them, I can just tell that's pretty pure and high vibe. And she does ship outside the US. She ships mandrake. This is coming up for a reason. She ships mandrake roots outside the US because apparently she can't ship live plants outside of the US. And so for those of you that want to work with that, and that's just a suggestion, you may have some other source. But there sounds like there's some sale that she's going to be having soon to send little root babies out to people. Okay, brought that. So now it sounds like we're ready to deliver the treasure map. So let me just share with you what this is. And then we'll deliver the light language, and then we can wrap things up. So this is something that lives with within your Akash. So it's a metaphor of being a treasure map. It's not a physical map, although once you get the download, you may feel inclined to map out your next steps to the treasure of your heart. So this is something that lives within your heart. What is the treasure for each one of you? It's going to be different. Is it a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow? They're saying you may see it as such, or you may see it as something else. You may see it as a sunken Spanish galleon with doubloons. These are metaphors they're giving me. You may want to see this as, this one I'm going to get emotional, as a knight going on a quest to find your treasure. So, we work here at TLC for the Soul. Like, a lot of it's magical work, a lot of it's metaphors, and a lot of it is stepping into alternate realities or higher dimensions or sacred spaces to do magical work. I don't sit there 24/7, but sometimes I do send an aspect of myself out into different places to do work. And a lot of times that's happening unbeknownst to us. Your body is just a small little vessel for your entire soul, which is fractalized out there and could be doing work in parallel realities and other dimensions unbeknownst to you until you tap into that. So, as part of this treasure map, you may want to create your own magical quest. I'm getting downloaded with this information that's coming in from my Akash, and I like to make it fun. I like to make this work fun and magical and creative. If it was me, I'd be like, wow, I'm getting this download. I want to create a treasure map. I want to map out, or some of you are artists, you know, I don't know, create a song about it, like map it out, draw it out, paint it out. I don't know. But you're going to start getting information. You're going to start getting clarity about what this next part of your quest is. With this new moon solar eclipse, regardless of when you listen to this, you can still receive the download, still go on the quest, still complete the thing, still get to your treasure. But we are here. What's happening is the energy I'm recording this in of this Gemini new moon solar eclipse. It's like saturated in this episode. So regardless of when you listen to it, you're going to get that as part of it. It's just coded into it because it's like charging a crystal at the full moon, and the crystal holds on to that energy. This episode is like a living crystal per se, and it holds on to the energy of the times that it's recorded, regardless of when you tap into it. So this Akashic treasure map is going to make itself known to you. With this light language, it's going to open up. You're going to start getting these downloads, clarity. You're asked to write it down or put it somewhere. It's going to be steps to take. It's going to be tools to work with. It's going to be, they're saying, time frames of when you should be doing certain things. This is all living within you. It's all part of your soul journey that you created, your soul blueprint that you created for this lifetime. Whenever you came into physical form, that's being activated with this. So I'm super excited and honored to be delivering this to you. So all we're going to do, the process has already started just by you listening to this. You may have already been getting intuitive hits as you were listening. Your guides may already have been delivering you information as I said these things. But to close this out, we will deliver the light language, which will continue to open you up even further over the next 48 to 72 hours. The process will be complete. The gate will be completely open, and all of your stuff will start like flooding through. So learn how to manage that. Learn how to manage, and the information coming through is what's best for you. But make sure you get it down somewhere. Write it down or type it out or whatever. All right, here we go. So let's take a deep breath. If you're doing something, stop doing what you're doing, because I was moving around this whole time. So stop doing what you're doing. Come to a space of receptivity, whether that be sitting down or lying down or whatever. Just close your eyes. Get yourself comfortable. Open your heart. Open your heart. Open your heart. Nyer Gretchenera, Hongira Jundiagra, Chirikitra, Rundigre Chinkiriter, Pecatatur, Tinchitu. That was the transmission. That was very grounding, I have to say. Again, very shamanic. This Navajo Windtalker, some of my native tongue, Lyran, a lot of Lyran, some Andromedan, and a little bit of Pleiadian, if you're curious about what that was. All right, you guys, I'm excited. I'm excited to see how this scavenger hunt objects and treasure map stuff comes together. Again, we will be working with both those things, the energies of the treasure map and the energies of the 3 sacred items at the solstice in a couple of weeks. The next time you hear from me on the podcast will be on Sunday. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's going to be on Friday for Freaky Fridays. What am I talking about? I think we will be doing, we'll doing Freaky Fridays, something. I'm not exactly sure. They're saying pick a card, but we'll see if that changes between now and then. So the next time I see you guys will be my live face and my hands or whatever. I don't know. On Freaky Fridays, which is in a couple of days. So I want to thank you all so much for joining me here on the podcast. We will see you all again soon in the next episode. Take care. This episode has been brought to you by Mugwort Mavens. You know who you are. All those not so normal people out there who just are a little bit more magical than some of our other worldly folks. Mugwort Mavens is here to support you with whatever your magical needs are, be it a sprig of mugwort, a mandrake root, or a blessed belladonna flower. Come to Mugwort Mavens for your magical needs.